Hey guys, Tim here from Play Tennis Singapore. Today's video is just about racket customization and what you can do to customize your racket and how that's going to feel when you play. Now there's just a couple of things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the grip and I'm going to talk about lead tape on the racket. So I'm going to start with the grip. Now in terms of what grips you can use, it all comes down to personal preference. Every racket, when you buy it new, it comes with a stock grip. So it's the grip that the racket company puts on the racket in the factory. Now some players like to just use that grip that the racket comes with, but others do like to use their own grip, such as myself. Now the reason for that is because, like I said, personal preference. When I play in Singapore, I like to use a dry absorbent grip because it absorbs the sweat. It helps me hold on to that racket nice and firm so the racket doesn't slip out of my hand. It absorbs the moisture. Other players like to use tacky grips, more sticky grips, again to help them hold the racket. However, those stickier grips do not absorb sweat as well. When I play in Melbourne, because it's colder, I like to use a more tacky grip, stickier grip, because it helps me grip onto the racket nice, and because I don't sweat as much, I don't really need that absorption. Now in terms of adding weight to the racket in the handle, there's a few things you can do. First thing, you can put lead tape. Now what you can do is you can remove the grip totally, the stock grip, and you can put lead tape onto the handle and then you put the grip back on over it. It's a very easy way of doing it, but some grips might not allow for that space for the lead tape. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable. Now, an easier way, in my opinion, is adding a leather grip. Now, adding a leather grip means you have to remove the stock grip completely and you put a brand new leather grip. Now, that leather grips weigh about 25 to 30 grams, which is 10 grams more than what a normal stock grip weighs. So it's added weight. It's relatively affordable, about 20 to 30 bucks, and it's very easy to put on and very easy to add to your racket. Now the last thing that you can do, which is more of an advanced method, is to remove the butt cap and insert silicone, which is a material that can be inserted inside the handle of the racket. Now some pro players do this, and some players out there can do this themselves, but unless you have already done it before and you know what to do, I recommend that you don't try it. Personally, I think it's much easier to either add lead tape or, even better, buy a leather grip and chuck a leather grip on the racket. Adds 10 grams and 10 grams is plenty. Now, next thing I want to talk about is lead tape on the hoop of the racket. Now, adding lead tape on the hoop of the racket improves things such as stability and power. One thing's for sure, no matter where you add lead tape on the hoop of the racket, the swing weight is going to increase. It means it's going to be harder to swing the racket. So if that's what you're looking for in your technique and in your game style, it's a great way to customize your racket and add that swing weight. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about where you can add lead tape. I'm going to start with the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions on the racket. So this racket of mine has lead tape at 3 and 9 o'clock. So you can see the lead tape here and here. Now this improves stability. This means that as you hit the ball, especially with a light racket, when the ball hits off center, the racket tends to shake a bit. With that added stability, meaning the lead tape at 3 and 9 o'clock, and the increase in swing weight, when the ball does hit off center, the racket doesn't shake as much, if at all. Sometimes it won't shake at all because of that added stability. It's a very comfortable feel, and I absolutely love that stability because it allows me to play against bigger hitters, people who hit the ball really hard. It's a lot easier to return those balls with a racket that is nice and stable. Now, if there was lead tape at 12 o'clock up here, this would show you an increase in power. Now, this would mean that the swing weight would be increased again, and instead of more stability, it would be more power. Think of it as a higher swing weight generates more power because a higher swing weight plows through the ball better than a lighter racket or a lighter swing weight would. Picture a heavy truck compared to a light car on a highway traveling at 100 kilometers an hour. Obviously, the heavy truck is going to go through an object a lot faster than the light car would. Not a lot faster in the sense that it wouldn't be slowed down by another object as that light car would. Similarly, with a heavier racket or a heavier swing weight, it goes through the ball a lot nicer and produces more power because the tennis ball doesn't slow that racket down. Now, in terms of other places you can put lead tape on the racket, I like to put some lead tape at 10 and 2 o'clock. This means there's a compromise in between stability and power, right? So you have stability on the sides and you have power on top at 12 o'clock. So I like to have the compromise of the two, stability and power at 10 and 2 o'clock. Again, it comes down to personal preference. One thing's for sure, like I mentioned, keep the tape on the inside of the racket. Don't put it on the outside, and make sure it's even on both sides, and just to keep the racket nice and balanced. So in terms of having a higher swing weight, helps you have more stability and power, but I recommend that you do have an established technique that allows you to consistently hit through the ball, especially because your arm will get very tired with a higher swing weight. In terms of adding weight to the grip, to the handle of the racket, this allows for a lighter swing weight. This means that the racket is whippier, it's faster to swing, and you can produce more spin. So it all comes down to personal preference. It all comes down to how you feel you want your racket to play and what suits your game style. Now, in terms of buying lead tape, it's very easy, very straightforward. I got this online and it cost me $6 or $7. It's really cheap, it's really easy to use, you can do it yourself at home, and it comes with very clear instructions at the back about the measurements and how much each strip weighs, depending on what size strip that you cut. So look, racket customization is a very easy, a very straightforward way of helping you improve your game and essentially letting your tennis rackets play the way that you want them to play. So thanks for watching this video and have a great day.